This is Lord from Africa, aka Roganized Rhyme, back at you with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about a woman who is 33 years old, who goes by the name of Corey Burke, who literally deleted her own father, who was 67 years old, all of their election voting results because Trump won. And yet you still have a bunch of people thinking that things are going to get better. It's going to be the golden age of America. If anything, it's going to be the more of the horror show of America is going to become. And we will see this as the years go down by the line. Now, keep in mind as well, this woman shows signs of not liking male authority. This woman literally was everything that I talked about in my older videos of how to spot a promiscuous woman, women who might bring you, some danger in your life. And she fits the exact description of it. But let's get into today's video. So gear up and get ready for this.
A Seattle woman allegedly bludgeons her father to death with an ice axe after he refuses to turn the lights off in their home. When police arrive on the scene, she's disheveled and covered in blood, later telling first responders, quote, "It needed to happen today." Before all this, she was a manager at Jeff Bezos' aerospace manufacturing company.
But that shows you right there, women can have all the opportunities, to vote, to work these high-paying jobs, to go get a good education at a college that they want to of their choice, but it still is not going to change how they behave. It's not going to change the fact that they don't like male authority. All over the fact that he told her to cut the lights off, her own father, and she didn't like it, and she was already mad at the fact that he voted for Trump. And this is what happens when you're dealing with girls that are like mega liberal, these women that are like just super woke. This is exactly what you're running into, and all of these grifters aren't going to tell you that, who are promoting for you to date as a man. These men are literally setting you up for the same fate that her father got, possibly even worse than that.
She told investigators this month's election results pushed her over the edge. So much so that she attacked her father, sat alongside his body watching him die, and later clapped out of happiness when first responders arrived to the scene.
Clapped out of happiness as first responders arrived to the scene. Are you guys starting to wake up and understand why men should no longer be trying to participate in society and damn sure not even think about even dating whatsoever? Like, this is what exactly can happen to any man who's watching this. The more these women are calling themselves getting aggressive and hyped up and just feeling horrible about the fact that the results didn't go their way in the election with Kamala losing, right? The more we're seeing these women behave like this, they're getting more aggressive. They're becoming just way more angry at guys. And you wonder why I'm telling you guys you need to run the other way. Because this literally can be any of you. And for the men that are feeling bad about not having any women in their life, this could have been you. This could have been me, any of us. So you should be glad that you aren't dating like that, because this is what you're avoiding.
I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime News. We're taking a look today at a really tragic case out of Seattle, Washington. This is our suspect, 33-year-old Corey Burke. She was already kind of in the public sphere before all of this because of her marriage to transgender writer Samantha Lee Allen. You may know Allen as the editor of the Condé Nast transgender news publication called Them, or as the author of Real Queer America, LGBT stories from...
This just goes to show you, whenever women and just people in general are allowed to do whatever they want, willy-nilly, to be free, have their own choice and just have more reign and right over whatever they want to do, they're still not happy. They still will get angry at you, and they will still want to delete you from this earth. If you dare say anything or go against their political views, if you try to impose some type of authority on them, even as a father, as a boyfriend, as a husband, anything, this is what can possibly happen to you. I mean, it's not that hard to understand that a lot of men are at risk for this, and you really need to go the other way.
Red states. Burke also had a high-profile career working as a training program manager at Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' spacecraft company. But on November 5th, election night, all that changed when police were called to her $800,000 home on the southeast side of Seattle. Neighbors called the police reporting that Burke broke all the windows in her house and was causing a disturbance.
You see, this is another thing that a lot of you guys who are still inexperienced, or men who haven't even been really in a relationship with a chick like that, this is another thing you're avoiding as well. Coming home to a woman who's not only unsatisfied with you, a chick who wants to make problems for you, but a woman who's going to be destroying your property, getting mad because she can't control her emotions, and next thing you know, cops are getting called and you're possibly getting in even more trouble while she's banging out the windows, kicking in the door, all of that. These are the things that you're avoiding. I think as men as a whole, we tend to look at the good aspects of dating when in reality, the good aspects aren't even that much. This is what you're dealing with, and it goes to show as well. Women that have high-paying jobs, because this woman worked at Blue Origin, a place that Jeff Bezos owns, as a rocket scientist, and she still wasn't happy. Still decided to just wild out and delete her own father. This is why a lot of you guys really have to get over this thing of, thinking that there's one girl who's just totally different for you. I mean, dude, it doesn't exist. You would have it right now, and we wouldn't even be in this situation right now or reacting to more videos like this.
When Seattle officers arrived, there were large amounts of glass shards in the front yard and driveway of the home. This indicated the windows were likely shattered from inside the house. According to court docs, as they approached the residence, they heard a loud clapping sound from inside. That's when officers came face to face with Corey Burke, who was covered in blood. Officers later described her appearance as disheveled, saying her hair was matted in the back, and in the front, it was stuck to her face with blood. A responding officer reported,
imagine how just creepy that looks. Like, imagine you're just a law enforcement and you come across someone who looks like that. You come across a woman who literally has her hair just back and forth, just messed up, has blood all over, like a freaking horror movie. Imagine how they felt seeing a woman like that who's supposed to be feminine, nurturing, caring, going by traditional standards, act out and do something like that, and then find out she's smiling and happy about it, like she's a freaking just two sunder, a yandere girl out of an anime horror movie. Like, it's brutal, man. And you have men out here telling you to go out here and use game, telling you to go out here and date when you're at more of a risk at meeting a woman just like this. So listen to these grifters all you want, self-improve, and once you start getting money and stuff like that and let these women come in your life, you're going to be at risk for the same thing. I hope you know this.
Corey appeared to have a light layer of blood on the right side of her face, on her cheek, under her eye, and onto her nose. She also had a line of blood on her lower lip that was thicker and chunkier. This next part is a disturbing description. The officer wrote, quote, "The blood created a lip liner effect of blood just inside the curve of her lower lip. This is also where the hair from her head was stuck to the blood on her lip." Beyond that, Burke had scratched.
Imagine how just sickening that is, to have to witness that and to know someone could actually do that to someone and let themselves get like that. Like, what does this tell you about how most of these modern women think, Like, this is just exactly how they think, Now, some would argue that they're not all like this to this insane, to this type of level, but they're getting there. All of them, mostly they're getting there to this level by the fact that you have the 4B movement starting. You have more women literally showing more disdain and disrespect and rage towards men. This is what's happening even more. Like, this is something we can't keep ignoring. Man, you really have to keep yourself guarded and attention away from these girls, because this is literally a situation to where you can end up in, or any of your friends or anyone in this community.
Scratches on her left hand and fingers. She was wrapped up in a blanket. When officers approached Burke, they asked what the clapping noise was. And Corey reported to Officer M. Roy that she had been clapping inside her home because she was happy, so she started clapping. She then told officers she wasn't sure how she'd broken the windows in her house or where the blood on her face came from, but she did say officers were not allowed inside. At this point, Officers decided Burke needed to be seen at the hospital. According to court docs, they planned to detain her under emergent detention of the Involuntary Treatment Act. Basically, Burke's current state was off, and officers felt she couldn't care for herself and may be a danger to herself.
Even in the face of this woman literally deleting her father, taking his life, they're still trying to take all these precautions to make sure she's safe. And yet we're told by, women in general that, oh, people aren't caring about us, we don't have as much, sensitive rights, people aren't leaning on us. If this isn't leniency, then I don't know what is. Because if this was a man who did this, probably would have been took out just like that instantly. And no one would have thought about it. So this just shows you right here that the whole the victim splaining of this. The fact that they're trying to court it in this image of that she's just, insane with some mental issues, which, she does have mental issues, I mean, obviously, yes, but you can't just call it without saying what it is as well. This is just dark and this is evil. This is evil, amoral behavior. It's not just her being out of her mind. She's evil. Like, look at this picture of her and, her spouse or whoever, or it might be her friend, right? Like, both just evil, dark-looking people. And you guys want to sit here and try to continue to date this? Like, this is insanity.
Or to others. As Burke was taken from the scene in an ambulance, neighbors approached the police, telling them Burke's father, 67-year-old Timothy Burke, also lived in the home. Neighbors reported that Tim, quote, had a list of medical issues. They also reported that Tim did not leave the home often. This info concerned the officers, so they entered the home in what they called a community caretaking capacity, basically to make sure Burke's dad was inside and safe. In a lower-level bedroom, officers located the body of an older white male lying face down on the carpeted floor. This man, later identified as Timothy Burke, was unconscious and had cuts on his left side, back, head, and ears. He also had what appeared to be a bite mark on his back. Once upstairs, police found a silver and blue ice pickaxe laying on the floor.
And this is the weapon that she actually used to finish off her father, the pickaxe. Like, imagine that, just such a gruesome way to die by your own daughter, using a pickaxe on you. And that's the most just insane part about this. Like, you don't see the news just really covering this and showing this to you, on the news coverage media, whatever, right? And they're literally just keeping this case just die down. This is for a reason. They don't want to show you what, a lot of this woke type of thinking creates in these type of girls nowadays, man.
Floor. The axe had blood on it, and soon officers determined it's what Burke likely used to murder her father just before they'd arrived. This is a really tough story to talk about.
And right there, I think we can just stop it right there, because it's like, it's pretty much getting the idea home at this point. So why do you think I always tell you guys that you really have to be on guard with her? You need to be done with dating. You need to just focus on solely just gratifying yourself, getting AI girlfriend, whatever you want to do. Because this is only going to continue to happen. Now, that situation with that girl, Corey Burke, who's 33 years old, could have been easily avoided if she had just obeyed authority like her father was telling her, just cut the lights off, and she learned to just live with his opinion of voting for the opposite political side, which is Trump. But no, it had to result in him losing his life. And now she's literally going to be locked up. Heck, if they don't try to play like the crazy card and send her to a mental hospital, which is most likely what they might try to do. But this just shows you right here why men need to just walk away from society in larger droves and have nothing to do with it. Let them sort out the mess. Let them handle the economy. Let them handle all the food and everything, and just worry about ourselves. Because this is just ridiculous. The fact that we have more stories like this coming out. And you guys really need to be careful out here, guys, because it's getting even more brutal every day. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I would highly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern women. Thank you.